Alright, in this video we are covering the fuel system, the throttle setup, and the shift setup. Now for the fuel pump, I've gone over this in the electrical video, but I'm going to cover it again for the fuel section here. I've taken, and this is my fuel pump relay that I've made. There is a feed from the circuit breaker as power to the relay. And then out of the relay, it goes through this fusible link I've put in and goes down to the fuel pump. Here on the back side of the relay, you've got the signal wire from key on power. So when you turn the key on, this activates the solenoid. This is the power from the circuit breaker. And this is the power going out to the fuel pump. And that is just the ground for the relay. Now for the fuel feed to the pump, this is just the 90, the pickup tube out of the tank for the original boat. Then it comes around, goes into the electric fuel pump. There's the power and ground that feed the fuel pump. It comes out of the fuel pump, and I have run it around here and then up, and I have relocated the fuel filter housing here next to the engine. The fuel comes up, goes through the filter, through the housing, comes and loops around, and goes to the inlet side of the fuel rail. Then it comes out on the regulated side, the return, and it returns down, back, along here again. And then where I've got it going is here. I've returned it into the vent line for the filler neck of the tank. So here's the fill hose for the fuel tank. This is the vent line here. And what I've done is teed into that and put my return in, so it just returns into the return or the vent line of the tank. And that's pretty much it for the fuel system. It's a pretty straightforward thing. That's why I didn't really film putting it together, because it's pretty cut and dry. It's a feed line, a return line, and a 60-pound pump. There's really not much to it. And I've explained how the relay and everything is set up for you to wire yours. Now for the accelerator. What I've done is I took, this is the original LS throttle bracket. And what I've done is I took it and flipped it upside down. So this normally would have been the other way around. All I did, it's still in its original location, I flipped it upside down, and then I cut that extra angle off. There's a piece that goes right there, and it would go in that bolt. And I've cut that off because this point sits higher than the bracket, so it wouldn't sit right. So I cut that off, flipped the bracket upside down, then ran the accelerator cable through, ran the adjustment up to here so it bottoms out, and there's just a zip tie holding it, because all of the force is pulling that way. So there's really no force against the zip tie. The zip tie is really just more so to locate everything. All of the force is applied to this and the bracket. And then what I did is I came down here and I took a grinder, cut off the original ball stud that would have been there for the Chevy, knocked it out, and then this is the stud off of the carburetor of the 305 Mercruiser. So all I did was took and put it here. I did have to cut the stud down and shorten it, but I put it on, put the nut on, you know, the nylock nut, put everything on, and then just ran this nut down until it had just a little bit of slop here, because you need to have a little bit of play. And that's it for that, and I'll demonstrate it here working. That's it. Wide open throttle and shut. You can see everything works perfectly. Now for the shifter assembly. This actually ended up working out really well. I really couldn't have asked for it to work out better. There is an original mounting bolt on top of the intake manifold of the LS there that goes through the original bolt hole on the shift bracket. And then the same thing here. It actually just lined right up. It worked out really well. So that's pretty straightforward. It just 2 bolts, hold it down, and that's it. It's really just to locate it, and it does move and go through its travel just fine. Now for the shift interrupt switch. This is a normally open switch on the GM application, the 305. So obviously that's not going to work with interrupting the LS coils. So what I did was I actually disassembled the switch and flipped the mechanism around, so now it's a normally closed switch. I didn't film that because I don't really have a lot of faith in this lasting very long. I could end up being completely wrong, and it works forever. And if it does work, at the end of the season, I'll probably put out another video. I'll just go find another one of these and I'll take it apart on video and show how to do that. But I don't feel like it's gonna last long, but we'll see. But you come out, and the purple in this Amazon LS harness is the ground for the coils. So all I've done is, and this is a coil extension. This is not, directly to the coil pack. This is an extension, and then the coils are down there. But what I did was I just went back, gave myself some room to work with, cut the purple wire, and then I ran it here. It goes up through the switch, comes back out, and goes down, and there's the rest of it there. The blue butt connector goes to, or the socket goes down into the harness, and that interrupts the coils. So I know I went through this one pretty quick here. I tried to get everything covered for you as far as how I did it and how it's set up. I wanted to kind of get this video out sooner than later because we're getting ready to go on a 10-day family vacation out of town. So we're going to be gone for a while. This thing's going to sit for a while, and I've got parts for the cooling system side of things ordered, and I'll be filming that as soon as we come back. But I didn't want this thing to sit another 2 weeks without an update video on how things are going and how to do it. So the next video that will come out will be the cooling system. I should have it all put together by then. I did fire the thing up on the ears just to make sure that the water pump and the outdrive and everything worked the way it was supposed to, and it is moving water. So all I've got left is wait on the fittings to show up and then plumb it up, and we should be able to let it run for a while with on the water, and actually let it get up to temp and let this engine run for the first time in quite a while. It hasn't run up to operating temperature in probably a year or two. It's been sitting for a long time. It was sitting on the ground on its side, and then I took the tarp off it, drug it over here, and put it in a boat. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll be fine. So we'll see you in that video.